Hannah, and I'm joined by Matt today, and we are going to talk to you about Matt's next competition, which is coming up in about a month's time, which is...
It is untested Britain's Strongest Man.
Under 80 kilos.
Under 80 kilograms, yeah.
So it's going to be a pretty epic weekend. Tell us about the event that you're in, the competition you're taking part in, and about the whole weekend.
The whole weekend in general, yeah. So it's the Saturday and Sunday of strength for the lightweight classes. Essentially, we've got the Britain's Strongest Man for the under 80s on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday, it's going to be the under 90s Chaos Classic, which is basically like, it's like a UK pro show for the under 90s. They've got a lot of competitors, I think, coming over from like Europe, all over from like Scotland, Wales. Like some of the top guys from the under 80s, under 90 scene is going to be there on the Sunday as well. But yeah, on the Saturday we've got the untested Britain's Strongest Man under 80s. Sort of qualifying route for that was over at Chaos. We did England's Strongest Man earlier this year, probably like 12 weeks ago or something like that. There's so many comps and stuff to try and keep track of, but yeah, it's a couple of months back. We did a qualifier. I believe there was about 30 athletes there on the day. It was top 10 going through to Brits. I think it was top 8, but I think there was one or two of the guys
qualified, hadn't they, through different routes?
Yeah, I think one of the twins and maybe one or two other guys had already qualified from being there last year, or podium at Brits last year. So yeah, I think it went up to like the top 10 people, which I think was a godsend for me, because I think I finished 10th. Or 9th, actually.
I think you finished 9th.
Yeah, it was a little while ago now. So yeah, we've basically got the top 10 guys from England coming across. I think there might be one or two guys coming from Wales. Like, I don't think the under 80 scene in Wales is particularly crazy. I believe there's some guys coming down from Scotland, some really, really talented athletes coming down from Scotland, like Chris Harper, Steve Wiley. So yeah, they're Dean as well. I think Dean McVee's going to be there as well. He was like top 5, I believe, at Worlds last year. So a pretty stacked lineup.
And some of the Irish athletes as well.
Yeah, some of the Irish guys, I believe. Some of the guys are actually at UKNS with us a couple of weeks ago. So you got Liam McConville, Kyle Scott. Honestly, I can't tell you who the other Irish one is. No offence to him, but I can't remember what his name was. But I think so they've got the top 3 from Ireland that are coming across as well. So it'd be nice to do a little run back with the Irish boys.
I was going to say, the whole of the podium from the UKNS class the other week.
Top 5. Whole top 5.
Actually, there you go. Yeah, the whole top 5 is actually competing in the under 80s up at the KS.
It'd be interesting to mix it up again,
so
see how that top 5 sort of sets
top 5 pans out this time, because it's a much heavier competition, this one, isn't it?
Much heavier, yeah. I think that goes sort of with the territory of it being tested, untested. It's going to be much higher quality.
So let's go through then, event by event, what is lined up. So event number 1 on the day is?
It is max log. I believe it's like a rising bar, sort of round robin, if you like, sort of set up. It'll be starting with 107 on the log, and then I believe it's going to be 10 kilogram jumps. So like everyone will go around, do their attempt on 107. Then the second round will come through. Obviously, if you've made the first lift, you'll be in that second round. It'll be up to 117, 127. I don't know if they're going to keep going with 10 kilo jumps after 127, just because it gets very close to like British record.
Do you know what is the current British record or the current world record?
The current British and world record, it's held by Chris Harper, I believe.
Yeah, he's going to be there, isn't he?
Yeah, they change all the time though, so sorry if I got that wrong, but I think it's like 146, I believe, is the log world record. I haven't double checked that before we did this, so apologies, Chris, if that's a bit wrong. Don't press me overhead. But yeah, so Chris holds the British and the world record as the same number, 146. So yeah, they might just be brutal on the day, depending on how Luke's feeling. He might just jump it straight up to 137 and then maybe do smaller jumps.
Do you think the world record will go on the day?
I actually do, yeah. I actually do.
What are you hoping to get?
Me personally, I think my old PB is like 120 on the log, but that was a long time ago. Like I did a triple with it.
So 127 will probably be your target.
Yeah, 127 would put sort of. I think it'd be good points as well. 127. Like on a little side note, I personally don't really like doing a rising bar, just because I feel like it doesn't separate enough athletes. Like you could get probably 5 or 6 guys copping out at 127. And then a couple of them maybe probably going on, like maybe Dean, Chris Harper, potentially Lewis Blackwell. Apologies if I missed anybody else out, any good log lifters, but those guys, I think, in my eyes, are probably the better log lifters in the under 80 scene. I know Tommy Chivers actually, he won Brits last year. He's pretty strong overhead. He was the only guy who beat me at England last year. Just going to put that out there. So yeah, it could well go on the day. There's a lot of guys there capable of doing like big weights on the log. But yeah, I just personally don't like. I prefer to see a more separated field on an event.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I guess it means that you end up sharing a lot of points.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like I say, if like 4 or 5 people land on 127 or 117, then you're sort of stuck on points with those sort of people. And with like quite a small field as well, that could be. That's quite a big field actually.
Yeah, it is quite a big field.
Yeah, to be fair.
Event number 2 would be your favourite event. Axle deadlift for reps at 255 kilos.
Yeah.
Matt, what's your current axle deadlift PB?
It's actually 260.
260?
Off a 1 inch platform, which personally I find harder, but yeah, 260, 255 is, especially after doing a max log, that's going to be very like...
It's going to be brutal.
Yeah, it's going to be touch and go on that one.
So it's 60 seconds you get, isn't it? For
60
how
seconds.
many reps you can get in that 60 seconds. How many would you be hoping for?
I think on a very good day, I think on a good day, maybe 2. Maybe 2.
I did say 2.
What did I pull? I pulled 240 for 5 in the suit not long ago. When we went up to Josh's.
So doing this event though, are there any restrictions on equipment? So you can wear straps?
No, obviously
you can
nothing.
Wear suits?
Yeah, obviously nothing silly, like
suits,
you can't like oil yourself up or anything like that. I'm sure somebody will. But no, suits, straps, pretty much everything. Like,
everything goes?
Yeah, I think with the tested route, they try and keep it a bit more raw and natural, if you like, and then the untested is like suits, the lot. So luckily I'll be able to drag the suit out for that one. With any luck, I think probably 1 is going to be more realistic on the day, especially having done a max log just before that as well. Could be quite taxing.
What do you think some of these guys are going to be pulling in terms of reps at 255? There's some strong guys there, and the last time we did the deadlift event at England's Strongest Man, they had 3 different options. And you took the middle option, didn't you?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And what was the heavier option? Was that 255? Was that 250?
It's 275.
275.
275. Yeah. Some of the guys did like multiple reps on 275.
Yeah.
So 255 in the suits and things like that. Like, I'm not sure if Richard Molnar's going to be there, but if he's
not on the list.
If he is going to be there, then
he's not on the list.
Okay, then we'll.
Well, he's not on the list. The last list I saw, the list that's on.
No, you never know. Like Tim Daglish, like the twins,
Good
Lewis
deadlifters.
Blackwell, even like Dean, like some of the top guys are going to be pulling multiple reps at 255. Like, I would not be surprised to see like more than 10 reps on that.
Cool.
Not for myself, but I'll just be hoping to sort of minimise any damage on that event. If I can get a rep,
you'll be happy.
I think it'll put me in a good stead, especially like keeping up with the natural guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, 1 rep. If I can get 2, you'll be seeing me bouncing off the walls and going absolutely nuts.
So event number 3 is a Husafel carry for max distance. Now the weight's 135 kilos and it's a 90 seconds time limit. So we had a Husafel carry in the UKNS finals. The difference is we carried like a metal, like proper like coffin shape Husafel. This time it's a sandbag, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah. It's a Husafel sandbag, yeah.
Does it make it easier or harder?
Honestly, I haven't actually done it myself. I should imagine it'd be a little bit more pleasant on the elbows and things, like on the crooks of the arms, and a little bit. It's
going to be. I mean, I'd imagine it's going to be easier to carry. So it's going to hold more like a sandbag than like a big.
I think personally, the sandbag, it might move about a little bit more than like the Husafel would, whereas like the Husafel's solid and it sticks to your arms a bit more. Like the sandbag, obviously, it's going to move around a little bit more. Obviously, it's sort of shaped to carry it, but. I'm not like overly confident on it. Not like I think it'd probably be pretty decent points.
Because for Matt in the UKNS finals, he won this event, didn't you?
Second.
Oh, he came second. Liam won this event, didn't he? So Liam was going to be there on the day as well. So Liam won this event, and obviously Matt came second. And we've also got Andrew Keys is also in taking part, and he is notoriously a very good carrier for
sandbag
distance.
Carrier.
So, I reckon, what do you reckon? 90 seconds? I reckon there's going to be some guys doing over 100 metres doing this.
If you can last the 90 seconds, I think you're going to be solid. I think I said in the last little chat we had, like, 60 seconds is very much like my...
Yeah, it's that
very much
extra
my
30
point.
seconds that make a big difference, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
most people go for about 50 to 60 seconds, but then as you get to that 60 seconds, it's really the athletes that can continue for that little extra bit.
But I mean,
that are going to get those extra meters.
100%, and that extra weight could be a bit of a factor as well, because that is a heavy sandbag, like it's a heavy load to be carrying. So if anybody does last that full 90 seconds, I'd be amazed.
But you say that, but your weight for the UKS was 120.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting event. It'd be an interesting event. Like there's a few little different bits. A bit heavier. It's going to be a little bit less stable. So could be a good event. Could not. We'll see how it goes. I think I need to get my hands on an actual sandbag, like a Husafeld sandbag, before I can sort of make any judgments myself. But generally, I'm pretty good front carrying, moving.
Yeah, you are.
So
Sandbag
it should be.
You're good at sandbags.
I'd be happy with like mid to high table on that one.
Okay, so event number 4, farmers.
Farmers.
So previously your nemesis event hasn't been, it's gone well the last few times you've done it, but actually in the England qualifiers, dropped it.
Yeah, qualifiers we did 110 for three lengths of 10, 12 metres or so. I dropped it probably about 2 metres or so before the end, 2-3 metres
Yeah,
before
it
the
was.
end.
It was really close to the end.
Heartbreaking seeing Matt Wally like just steam past me, but we've done it before.
So
him on an
this
event,
is 125 kilos per hand, and it's over 30 metres. It'd be 10 metres, turn, 10 metres, turn, 10 metres.
yeah, so that extra weight. So like UKNS, a couple of weeks ago, same weight as England's. I finished it, didn't have any mess ups on it, finished second overall.
Really quick as well.
It's a really nice like confidence booster before going into that. With it being 15 kilo a hand heavier though, could be quite interesting. Those pickups are going to be heavy. Knowing Chaos as well, they have those the riot handles from Strength Shop, which notoriously seem to mess people up at comps. So that could be a really, really interesting event to watch. Top tips on that is going to be Tommy Chivers. He's absolutely rapid on farms and stuff, like training, he looks good. Like a few of the other guys as well. Lewis Blackwell's like actually managed to have a proper prep this year and actually get on like the kit regularly.
Do you remember who won the farmers at England? Do you remember?
I don't off the top of my head, no.
I don't remember either.
I know the year before that
But I know that you were beaten in the UKNS by Kyle, and he's going to be there. That was literally like point of something, hundredths of the second, wasn't it?
Kyle's going to be rapid. I know England's before that, Tommy Chivers won that farmers, and then at Brits he won the farmers again. I believe it was the same thing last year at Brits, he won the farmers as well. So like, if you're looking for someone to watch on that, it'll be Tommy Chivers. He's rapid on that one, yeah.
Cool. Event number 5. Event number 5 is yoke carry into 2 sandbags loaded over the yoke. Is that right? So this is a really heavy yoke. So we're looking at a 300 kilo yoke, but it's not that far, is it? Is it only 10 meters?
I think it's 10, maybe 12 at the most.
Yeah. So it's actually a short distance, but I mean, you think, so under 80 kilos, these guys are carrying, you know, 3, nearly 4.
It's nearly 4 times.
4 times their body weight. That is pretty immense. And then the sandbags loading are at 110 kilos each?
Yep, that's right, yep.
How do you fancy your chances?
I like this event. I like it. Yoke was a good event for me. I'm usually pretty quick, like up to like my PB weight. I'm still reasonably like smooth and quick, like moving with the yoke. Years gone by, yoke has been a bit of a wooden spoon for me. Had a few little mess ups with it. Same with like farmers. I think it's just trying to go too quick and trying to getting all caught up in the hype of the comp and right, I've got to go quick. But 300 kilos, it's gonna slow a lot of people down.
Yeah.
I'm confident with the yoke. Sandbag Don is always going to be confident on the sandbags. Bush. There should be some good races on that. Like I say, like when we did the Zercher into sandbag at UKNS, it was like a second or two between like the top 4.
And it was really quick as well, wasn't it? So it's
very
going to be
fast.
similar to that. So we did the Zercher carry into then 2 sandbag loads, and it is going to be really, really similar. And it was just like bish, bash, bosh.
The only thing that will slow that down a bit, I think, is where we go from a Zercher height with the bar to actually having a yoke on the thing. So a bit of tactics
it's a
on that. With,
higher load, isn't it?
Do you want to smooth the yoke with like your higher, nice, like your normal yoke position? Height. Be a bit smoother on the yoke, or do you want to risk going a little bit lower on the yoke, having a bit more swing,
to make
harder
it
pick up?
Easier to then load your sandbags.
Yeah, to make it easier on the back end, because we did this at England/Brits 2-3 years ago when we did it Chaos and Josh Lancaster's gym, and yeah, that yoke height really like scuppered a few people. Like really like on that load. I think they used to load into like a normal loading height, and then you stick it on your back, and that bar's so much higher that people have to sort of rethink that load again. But no, I'm confident on that event.
Good.
I'd like to see around like mid to high table. Like I'd like to think maybe top 5 on this. It's not too dissimilar to what we did in the qualifiers. I think we had a 260 yoke and then a 100 kg keg.
Yeah, it was a keg carry, wasn't it? It was just backwards and forwards. I mean, so this event is more of a speed event, isn't it? Because you've got to go quick, it's heavy and quick, and then it's quick to load, whereas the other one was more endurance, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was over the minute, but
keg,
again, I think
yoke, keg, as far as you
some
could go.
similarities, like you're
How
going to see.
heavy was the yoke you were carrying there before?
So it's 260.
But actually, yeah.
I think you're going to see some similarities in the fact that, like, if you're good at yoke, you would have done well at that event. So,
Yes.
like, the guys that were good at that event
We're
again are
going
going to
to see again.
I think like a 110 sandbag now is like pretty
Standard
weight for under 80s now. If you can't pick up a 110 sandbag, then you probably shouldn't be a Brits. Let's face
Yeah,
it.
fair enough. Cool, and then the last event of the competition is duck walk into power stairs.
Yeah, do you know what? Thinking about this, the more we do this, the more I realise I've got a real checkered past with a lot of events. So this was at the finals at UKNS last year, and this actually cost me a podium and like massive points because I hadn't had a chance to go on a duck walk or power stairs before it, and I literally was like first time touching comp weight in the warm up, like trying to figure it out, and then we believe we did it again at Ashes, a little bit heavier. I think,
We did in the
Ashes.
lightweights competition.
And
Yes.
then went from like complete
I did
last
that
at
as well.
UKNS to I think I won that one or maybe come second. Like some guy actually smashed it, didn't he? But yeah, I went from last to second on that. I think it would be an interesting
It's heavy,
one to see.
isn't it, as well?
It's very heavy,
So
yeah.
you've got 3 different implements. It's 150, 160, and then 170. So be interested to see. So I don't know whether anyone watched the under 64 women's pro league, which happened in the States at the weekend, and they also had a duck walk into power stairs. And I found it really interesting because lots of them switched. They did their duck walk and they switched and they took a Zercher grip, so right under their arms as they were going up the power stairs. That's why I asked you whether you'd watched it. It was really good.
Interesting.
And I'll be interested to see how many men employ that technique during the power stairs as well.
It's a very heavy Zercher pickup, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, but your hands, or it's a very heavy.
No,
I don't know.
it's a good technique.
We'll
I'll have to
see,
watch it tonight.
We'll have to watch it. We'll have to have a little technique analysis and work
100%.
out how to do it.
Do a little bit of game time.
Right, who's your top pick? What's your podium going to be? Who's going to win?
Top pick. So I think this is one of those comps where it's an absolute nightmare to pick like one person that's just going to like blow it out because there's so many good people there. Like,
well, let's go podium. Let's
like
just go your
top
top. Let's go your top 5 athletes then.
top 5. Like, just name a few names. Like, I'll stay away from the top 5 for a second, but like. You've got, Stephen Wiley has come down from winning Scotland's Strongest Man under 90s.
Under 90s as well, so he's got a big cut for this.
He was at Worlds under 80s last year. I think he had some injuries, so he didn't have the day that he wanted to, but he's going to be like a top one
so
to
you reckon
watch.
he has to say Steve or
Got
Steve
Dean,
will beat him up?
you've got Dean, like Steve and Dean, like I think they train a bit together. I know they have a lot of banter together, so they're going to be like interesting duo to watch on the day.
Okay.
You've got another Scottish guy, Chris Harper. Like,
Okay.
this is his first
He's the current log record holder.
log and dumbbell, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so we've got those three Scots.
He's ridiculous, to be fair. I think he podiumed at Brits last year. It was his first year competing in strongman last year, and he podiumed at Brits against like.
Then what about some of the
mad
English
guys.
athletes?
So Chris, then you've got. I think both the twins are going to be
Yeah,
there. So you've
both
got
the
Tim
twins
and
are down.
Joe.
The list I saw, both the twins are down there.
To be fair, watching them train is always mad because you can never know which one's which, and they both lift so similarly, and they're both so like when you watch them on comp day, they're neck and neck on like the moving
Last
events.
time we watched them was at the England, and the only way we could tell them apart was because they had different coloured socks on.
Thank you
And we
for
had
doing that, guys.
we had to write a little note down, like mental note. We had a little mental note between us, which one had the black socks and which one had the white socks, so we'd know who they were.
I always say it's like watching a science experiment, watching them two like go because they're just so like similarly matched. But yeah, so you got the twins. Josh Lancaster's not doing it. I think he's doing the under 90 classic the next day.
Next day.
So again, other guys like so you got like Lewis Blackwood. Like if he puts together like six events, if he puts together 6 good events and he's had like a really good prep.
Yeah.
He's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, so I was really impressed with Lewis Blackwood when we watched
He's
England.
just a
And
nutter.
he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, when he
He's such a nice
competes,
guy.
he's a psycho. Like, no offense, Lewis, you're a geezer, but
And
like.
then reigning champion is Tommy Chivers.
Then Lewis and Tommy, I believe, train together. Tommy's another one. Like I know Steve and that mentioned it on their podcast, but they were saying like he's gone off, he got married. He went on holiday for a long time and things like that. He tends to do this a lot. Like he'll do a big comp, smash, blow everyone out of the water, then disappear for 6 months or whatever.
And then come back and smash it
Come back, have a really good prep, like devoted to that one comp, and like he'll come through. Like he will be definitely one to watch. Like be mad not to like have a.
You don't want to cancel him
Nah,
out.
100%. Again. Like,
Okay, so we've got a really unclear top 5 at the moment.
It's bonkers,
basically, Matt has no idea.
Right,
So
if okay, I'll put my money where my mouth is. No, let's do
You
it.
don't need to.
Money where my mouth is. Top 5. I'm gonna go no order because that's just ridiculous. I'm going not Steve Wiley because of the log. I think there's just too many like well-rounded guys. I personally don't know what his log is, but he always goes on about it being shit. So he might be sandbagging everyone and actually turn up and get like a world record or something. But I very much doubt that. Just because of that, I think he's going to drop too many points on that. I'm going to go Dean McVie.
Okay, so he's going to be in your top 5.
Yeah, 100%. You'd be mad not to put him in there. I think Chris Harper.
Okay, Chris Harper.
And then it gets interesting. Without actually looking at the name sheet as well.
I'm going to have to give you the name sheet.
I don't want to insult anybody. Yeah, quickly get up on your phone. Yeah, here we go. I believe there's some things there. Connor Cowan's probably going to be up there.
I mean, these are athletes we haven't.
Do you know what? I'm stumbling and fumbling and bumbling around here.
Let's not worry. Let's go for something else.
Yeah, I'm stumbling.
Okay, so there are 5 athletes that you competed against the other week, UKNS finals. There's Kyle who won it, you who came second, Liam, and then we've got Andrew and Matt who were also in 4th and 5th.
Yeah,
all top 5 are competing at the under 80 Brits. How are you guys going to pan out? Who's going to win out of you 5? What do we reckon?
Yeah,
so
like
I'm not really
little
worried
mini
about.
comp. Yeah, so the way I've been eyeing
I'm going to call it the mini comp, the comp within a comp.
Yeah.
Out of those 5, what's going to be your leaderboard?
So yeah, I've been eyeing it up as just like those are the guys to really beat. Like Kyle's like my kind of guy because we all competed at the Natties like the other week. I personally would like to say I'm going to take Kyle this time. Half a point in it at UKNS. I'd like to.
So we're going from the natural athletes. We're going Matt as number 1. We're going Kyle as number 2.
Kyle number 2. I think Matt Wally.
Ooh, Matt Wally. Okay.
Matt Wally ahead of Andy Keys, just because I think Matt Wally's going to have a better deadlift, and he's going to have a better log as well. I think he's really been working on his overhead a lot.
Okay.
It showed at UKNS, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't think there's a bad event in there for Matt, really. He's great on a heavy farmers. Great, he's good on heavy yoke. Sandbags are solid.
Okay.
Deadlift, his log.
So you,
Yeah.
Kyle, Matt, Andrew and Liam.
Andrew, Liam.
Liam, Andrew.
There was a bit of controversy with them too as well. Ooh, I'm going to go
I'm going to go Andrew Liam.
I'm going to go Andrew
I think the
Keys.
events suit Andrew better than they might.
Well,
Not that I know
you
Liam,
say
but
that.
Then Liam beat him on the
Liam won the Husafeld. Liam's got a very good deadlift.
We should have done a lot more analysis on this before
So let's
we
break it
actually
down,
put it to
event
video.
by event for Andy and Liam. Yeah. So Liam, I didn't see his
Log.
overhead. I didn't see his overhead at
No, I
what's
didn't.
it.
I don't remember.
But I know Andy Keys has been really.
Maybe we need to analyse and come back.
So Andy's really been pushing his overhead. Liam, I don't know about his overhead, so we'll give that one to Andy maybe. Deadlift, Liam's going to definitely beat
Yeah,
him.
he won the deadlift.
Yeah, he got like 10
didn't
or 11 reps at UKNS.
Okay.
Husafeld carry, I couldn't tell you between the two of them.
No, I couldn't either.
Liam was rapid on that Husafeld.
Farmers, Andrew tends to be quite good at the farmers.
Yeah, they were both, they went against each other and they both fell at the last little bit.
They did, didn't they?
But
But then the
that could
Brits,
be an interesting
the
one.
England one beforehand, I think Andrew beat you.
Yeah, Andy's fast. Andy's fast on moving events. It just, the only bit there is just when it gets a bit heavier. Could be an interesting one. I think it's going to slow
Watch
a lot
this
of people
space.
down.
We will do another little video of our top predictions, as in our top 5, and then actually who might win out of the
We'll
natural
do some
athletes
proper
as well.
research
Do
and
some
we'll come
proper
back to it.
research before we put it to camera.
Brilliant, I like that.
Cool. That's it. That's the events on the day. So 6 events.
Yeah, another big day. It's going to be a knackering one, to be fair. Like 6 events over in Ireland was a big, like, I think they're making a big push now to put that extra event in, especially in the bigger comps.
Yeah.
It used to very much to be 5. A couple of years ago, the first time we did England's, we did 8 in one day. We drove to another gym halfway through, so we did 4 events at Chaos.
And then went somewhere else.
Yeah, and then the top 10 guys from that went over to Josh Lancaster's gym.
Yeah.
And did another 4 events as like the Brits side of it.
There we
So
go.
not strangers to a long day, but yeah, it's going to be a brutal one. Hopefully the weather will be a bit more milder come end of September. So it won't be
right by the
so
beach, though.
grueling.
Be a nice weekend away. So it is the weekend of the 22nd and the 23rd of July. So Matt is competing in the under 80s, the Britain's Strongest Man under 80s on the Saturday, and it's followed up on the Sunday by the under 90s Chaos Classic. You can buy tickets online.
Yeah, get your tickets online, guys. If you go
You
to,
can buy a t-shirt as well.
I think it's just the Chaos Strength
Nice on the
website.
back.
You go to the Chaos Strength website, you can get obviously spectator tickets. All of that goes back in towards the athletes. So I know last year they did like the winner of Brits.
Into the prize pot, that's all you need to worry
Yeah,
about.
like they paid for like the trip to OSG and stuff like that with the prize money and things like that. So it really does go a long way to like supporting the athletes. You can get t-shirts with a name on the back. Again, that all goes into the prize fund and everything like that. So
Cool.
help out the athletes, get your tickets, get your tops in, guys.
Awesome.
Get your knees tops.
Thank you, Matthew.
Perfect. All done?
Yeah, all
Is that
done.
everything?
I
Magic.
think so.
Been lovely chatting to you, Hannah.